What's up, everybody? It's me, Jrod, the filmmaker, former film major, frequent fighting gamer from Philadelphia, and we are back with another You Feel Me video, the second video of our content calendar that goes from now until the end of the year, and I'm so excited to be doing this one. Now, this one is actually a sequel. This is the second time I'm doing a video like this. However, if you don't know, the first time I did a video like this was the top 10 episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Unfortunately, when I made that video, I don't know if I used too many clips or, something got copyright claimed, but they blocked the video in multiple countries, including the United States, which is where I live. So I can't even see that video anymore through my YouTube unless I go through YouTube Studio. However, I did decide to upload that video to my Facebook, so if you do still want to see my top 10 Avatar: The Last Airbender videos, you can do so on my Facebook. I'll link it in the description, and please leave a like if you do enjoy it. But this video is about the top 10 episodes of Avatar: The Legend of Korra. If you don't know, Legend of Korra is coming to Netflix this weekend. I am so excited. Way back when I did my Avatar rewatch, I actually rewatched both series. I watched The Last Airbender, and as soon as that was over, I went right into Legend of Korra. Watched all the way through, 7 seasons in total, about 120 or so episodes. And I didn't regret a second of it. Both shows are amazing. They even get better with time. But like I said in that video, I considered doing a top 10 episodes of The Legend of Korra, and here we are. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, the only rule I gave myself, which was the same rule for my Avatar: The Last Airbender video, is I won't choose any episodes that are 2 or more part episodes. So unfortunately for Legend of Korra, there were some really good 2-part episodes, including Beginnings, which has the origin of the Avatar cycle, the origins of Avatar 1, one of my favorite episodes, but it's not included on this list specifically because it's a 2-part episode. But let's get into the list, y'all. All right, so starting off the list at number 10 is The Terror Within. The Terror Within is a book 3 episode where Korra just learned metal bending, just met the metal clan of Zaofu, and the Red Lotus come there to try to abduct her. They aren't successful, but there is a really great fight scene between the metal clan, the Avatar gang, and the Red Lotus. And it's a really good episode. And trust me, there'll be a lot more book 3 Red Lotus storylines on this list because it is my favorite season. Next up at number 9, we got another book 3 episode, The Ultimatum. On my rewatch, the one thing that made me have to put this episode in is that Korra gets to talk to Iroh in the spirit world, and not only that, but she also gets to tell Zuko in the real world that she just talked to Iroh in the spirit world. That moment alone makes this an extremely memorable episode for me. Iroh, one of my favorite characters, Zuko as well, because he had an amazing arc, and I just love to see how those characters developed into the next series. Okay, so one thing that I missed about The Ultimatum, this is also the episode where Zahir and the Red Lotus try to go straight to the air temple and kidnap the air nomads in search of the Avatar. Now, I forget about this part, but this features one of the sickest fight scenes in the entire series. Tenzin versus Zahir, and then Bumi and Kaya versus the rest of the Red Lotus. It also features Kai trying to take on the combustion woman in the Red Lotus. It's just a really sick action scene. Like, you have the majority of the nomads who, they don't know how to defend themselves, so they are just trying to get away, and then the one master on their team, Tenzin, he's doing what he has to do. And I think that this scene, now that I think about it, this scene actually probably represents so much more to the canon. Like, imagine if Aang had this opportunity to use his skills to protect the rest of the air nomads, to protect Mungyatso and his family. This is really like a scene that you wouldn't have gotten in The Last Airbender, considering that Aang was the last airbender. Seeing two airbenders with two completely different motives fighting each other, it's actually just pretty sick. Next up at number 8, we have Darkness Falls. Darkness Falls, number 8 on the list. This is actually right after Harmonic Convergence, before the final battle of season 2. This is after Unalaq has been found out as the bad guy. He's trying to use Korra's powers to open up the portal between the spirit world and the natural world. And it has some, you know, it's Korra's first fight with Unalaq. It also features Bolin and Mako trying to fight off Unalaq, but it doesn't really work out. And next up, number 7 on the list is The Last Stand. Now, The Last Stand is actually the series finale, the book 4 finale. It features Korra fighting hand to hand with Kuvira inside of the giant mech, trying to destroy it before she can destroy Republic City. And another incredible action scene, or just action sequence altogether. You have the Avatar gang trying to fight the mech from the outside. You have Korra and Kuvira actually fist fighting from the inside, which is a rematch from the first time they fought, which I think was in the Battle of Zaofu episode, and Korra kind of got beat pretty bad. But this time she redeems herself. She takes down Kuvira. Mako and Bolin take down the mech from the inside. Mako even lightning bends. It's a really amazing episode, and since it's the finale, it also ends with the ultimate conclusion of all 4 seasons, of all the conflicts, both internal and external. You got things like Judy and Varric finally getting married at the end. You have all the Avatar gang finally reunited and in, you know, somewhat state of peace. And then in the end, you have Asami and Korra leaving to go on a spirit world vacation, which they both much deserve. A great finale to the show, and it just shows how good the arcs were all throughout the series. Next up, number 6 on the list is Light in the Dark, season finale for book 2. And a lot is going on in this one. You have Unalaq merged with Vatu to make the Dark Avatar, tried to destroy Rava, the Light Avatar spirit within Korra, but it didn't really work out. And then you have this giant Dark Spirit versus Light Spirit fight in Republic City, and it is just, it's amazing. I mean, I love, of course, a big thing about the show are the fight scenes and the action scenes, and I love how the Legend of Korra took those action scenes and turned them up to a crazier degree. Number 5 on the list is Long Live the Queen, one of the most memorable endings to any episode in this entire series for me. This is when the Red Lotus invade Ba Sing Se, and Zahir ends up killing the Earth Queen and throwing the entire Earth Kingdom into chaos in a single moment's notice. This is an amazing episode, not only because they really went there and showed what is probably the most graphic scene in all of Avatar history that is now ingrained in our minds, and we will never be able to forget that scene of Zahir taking the breath out of the Earth Queen. Not only that, but also this episode also serves as somewhat of a parallel to the siege, the second siege of Ba Sing Se in Avatar: The Last Airbender. I mean, if you look at the history of Ba Sing Se and invaders, it's all about being invaded. Like, you have the Fire Nation and the dragons who attempted to invade the first time, which caused them to build the wall. You had General Iroh, who tried to invade, but he lost his son, and that put his entire life on a completely different journey. Then you have Azula, who tried to invade once with the drill, but was stopped by Aang. Then invaded with her own private team disguised as Kyoshi warriors, who ended up taking over the Dai Li. And now again in Legend of Korra, we have the Earth Kingdom not only invaded, but the Earth Kingdom almost completely dismantled in a single episode when the Red Lotus invade and take out the Earth Queen. Just a really significant story to the overall Avatar world. Next up at number 4, we have Operation BEIFONG. One of my favorite episodes for obvious reasons. You have Toph BEIFONG, Opal, Lin, all teaming up to get the rest of the BEIFONG family / Metal Clan out of Kuvira's prison. Honestly, if it was just Toph doing a solo mission, this episode would still hit different, because Toph, one of the best benders in the entire series, and we get to see how she works as an old, wise, just more experienced version of the character. Not only that, but we also get to see the new successors of the BEIFONG legacy, Lin, Suyin, and Opal, all with different, skills, all with different abilities, and bringing them all to the table together, making one heck of a team. Bolin was also there. Number 3 on the list, we are already in our top 3. This one is one that I almost forgot about, and it is Rebirth. Now, if you watch the episode Rebirth from book 3, the story that Korra and the team is going through it's very, normal actually. Korra is just traveling around the Earth Kingdom looking for new airbenders to join the air nomads and to learn at the Air Temple. Nothing too out of the ordinary. She finds some people who don't want to make the commitment. They end up having to figure out different ways to convince people to come with them and stuff like that. But the important part, the greatest part about this episode is while Korra is trying to build her new team of air nomads, the Red Lotus is also rebuilding their team after Zahir gets airbending, breaks out, and then goes to all the different prisons to break out the rest of his team. The Red Lotus are definitely the best Avatar villains ever, and this is almost like their origin story. This is where you get to see who they all are, where they're all being kept. You get 4 separate breakout scenes, and they're all really sick. Number 2 on the list is actually the only episode from book 1, and it is And the Winner Is. Now, I don't dislike book 1 at all. I think book 1 has some amazing episodes. It is the origin of this entire journey, and also Amon is another great villain. And Equalist, I put Equalist in quotes because it turns out he's actually just a bloodbender who learned how to bloodbend without the full moon and also take other people's bending by blocking their chakras. That's a really sick villain for multiple reasons. Just made this character of Amon so threatening. And this episode, And the Winner Is, has to be my favorite because it features the championship of the pro bending, which, another sick concept introduced in the show. But at this championship, Iman and his Equalists bomb the stadium up the Lin and Korra to try to keep everyone safe at the same time as trying to catch Amon and the Equalists. So a lot is going on in this scene, but this action scene and this arc overall for this episode, it was amazing. And finally, number 1 on the list. I mean, you might be able to guess from telling how much I love the Red Lotus and book 3. The number 1 episode on my top 10 episodes of Legend of Korra is the Venom of the Red Lotus. This episode just really hits different. It is the book 3 finale. It is the final battle of the Red Lotus versus Korra. The plan that the Red Lotus went through to try to take Korra out is really, it's a sick plan. They poisoned her with a metallic poison that would force her to go into the Avatar state, and then once she's in the Avatar state, it would kill her and basically end her connection and end the Avatar cycle forever. What a just diabolical plan. Unfortunately, it does not work out, and so you get this crazy fight scene between Avatar state Korra while she's fighting the poison inside her and fighting Zahir at the same exact time. You do have the rest of Aang Gang helping out to take out the other members of the Red Lotus, and you do have all the new air nomads coming together to help Korra in the end. They basically gave her a giant air tornado spirit ball, and she was able to finish Zahir off in the end. But this also started an incredible emotional arc for Korra, because going into book 4 after this, Korra had to deal with the post-traumatic stress of being poisoned, of that situation. Not only did she have to still deal with the residual poison and the residual effects it had on her mental and her avatar state, she literally had to just deal with what it's like to, you know, come out of one of those situations on the other side. What is it like to win and still have to deal with those effects? Something that Avatar: The Last Airbender never really had to deal with, because once he beat his main villain, the show was off. All right, so now that is the extent of the list. There are a couple honorable mentions, which I'll throw up on the screen right now, but that is all of them, 10-1. Venom of the Red Lotus being my favorite episode of the entire series. But you know, it's my list, it's not the definitive list. So if you guys have any other ideas for what's your #1 episode of Legend of Korra, go ahead and let me know down in the comments. Tell me if you feel me. I would love to hear what you guys have to say, for sure. And that'll be it for this one. So guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Please subscribe, because we got videos, brand new videos coming every week. We're switching it up. We're doing new things, different things. And yeah, if you want to be notified when those go up, then press the subscribe button and the notification bell. And I'll see you guys next Friday in the new video. Peace out.